Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. Today we're going to start prepping some freezer meals for the month of August. At the time of recording, it is the 12th of August already, but if you watched our grocery haul and plan for the month of August, you'll see why I didn't do this at the beginning of the month, because we were kind of going through pantries and stuff we had now. Anyways, let's get started with this. I'm going to attempt to make 12 freezer meals, 14 if I feel ambitious, as quickly as possible, because it's already 1:22 and this is typically the time that I'm going downstairs with my kiddos to work out, and I really want to get that in before the day is done, but I also really need to get this done. So I'm going to see how fast I can get this done and still see if I make it to the workout. Let's get started. So I did write out my little cheat sheet of what I wanted to make and just kind of their ingredients, but it's not precise ingredients. I do have a couple of new recipes that I'm going to try this month. One is this Cafe Rio chicken, so I did print out the recipe for that. The recipes that I can link down below, I will for you, and then this sweet and sour pork chops, the last freezer meal we did for July, I will link that for you. But that one we did sweet and sour meatballs, and that was so good. So I'm hoping the pork chops come out just as well. And then it was supposed to be a peach ginger chicken, but I could not find any peach jam or preserves or anything like that. They didn't have a whole bunch of just not so great ingredients in it. So I did find apricot though, and so we're gonna try apricot ginger chicken and see if that comes out okay. Okay, so normally I try to prep a little bit ahead of time and chop my veggies, and I did not get a chance to do that this time around. So, I mean, we're really just kind of flying by the seat of our pants here, which, if you know me personally, I don't do well at all. So let's push through and see what we can do. I'm going to chop up some of these carrots and celery because I know that I need them in the recipe. Do I even need carrots? Why do I have carrots out? I don't need carrots. I just maybe thought they would look pretty. Put these away. If you didn't know, you could put this little thing in a little thing of water and it will start regrowing. And I've never actually gotten to the point where we can replant it, but I'm guessing that you could. But it's a fun little project that I do with the kids sometimes. We watch it just kind of regrow. So if you didn't know, you could do that. I'm gonna cut it off and just use it for our broth this time around though. Keep a bag with just some vegetable scraps in the freezer, and when it's filled up, I go ahead and make some veggie broth with it. So here I'm just tossing in some of the leafy greens that I didn't use from the celery and the rest of the stalks that I didn't use into our bag, and then when it's filled up, I will make some broth. The leafy part of the celery has so much flavor, so I love to put that into this bag because it just adds so much to that broth. Here I'm adding in some Cajun seasoning from Wellness Mama, and then I'm going to add in some bell pepper that I had diced and froze before. Okay, this is chicken that my husband smoked on the grill outside for me, and then it wasn't completely cooked, so it was par cooked. We went ahead and shredded it, so I'm going to add this to our sausage chicken gumbo. I'm just going to put it in half. I'm going to just kind of measure out roughly half with my hands here and put half in this bag and half in that bag. Then I'm going to add a can of diced tomatoes to each one. And then I'm going to cut up this sausage that we got from Walmart. It's just uncured sausage here, Cajun style, and we're going to dice it and throw it in here too. And then I've also picked up frozen shrimp, so I'm going to quickly half this bag and put half and half in here, and then these 2 meals will be done. And then I am gonna flatten them so they fit in the freezer a little better, and then also if I choose to put this to defrost the night before, it'll defrost quicker because it won't be in this big old clump. Let's try these sweet and sour pork chops next. I think this is all I have left of brown sugar, and the recipe calls for, oh, cool, 2 tablespoons. I thought I was gonna run out. We use liquid aminos instead of soy sauce, so I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of that in. If I wasn't Russian, I would probably put these like in a little bowl or something. I might go ahead and do that because I'm afraid they're going to tip over, and I don't have any of those fancy like Ziploc holding bag thingies. So and if you're wondering, I am just like hurriedly putting stuff away as I fill up the bag. So I put the brown sugar in here, I put it right back in the pantry, just to try to save me a little bit of cleanup time afterwards. Ketchup. So the recipe also called for sweet and sour seasoning mix. My store didn't have any of those packets, so I went ahead and bought this. I think it'll be fine. It is looking a little scary with all the liquid, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in bowls. Cornstarch. I am running out of, this is why I have multiple measuring spoons, because I've already used up mine. So when you have multiples, you can just keep piling up the dirty dishes, I guess. Okay, the recipe also calls for stir-fry veggies, but I didn't buy any. I'm just going to use some of these veggies that I had, frozen veggies that I had already in the freezer. There's really not much left, so I'm going to go ahead and just use the rest in here. And then lastly, we're going to add these pork chops. These are pork chops from ButcherBox. I had these in the freezer, so I figured I would just use these up instead of purchasing more. These are frozen, so they're still frozen. It's still good. I'm just going to get them in here and then get these in the freezer too, so we don't compromise anything. I am purposely putting the meat on the top so that when I take the bags and I open them up, the meat is going to be the first thing that hits either the Instant Pot or the slow cooker. So I don't know, I just feel like it cooks faster that way. I don't always remember to do that, but when I do, I don't know, I'm secretly pleased with myself. These I will not be putting in the freezer flat just because there's so much liquid. I trust the Ziploc bag, but I don't trust the Ziploc bag, if you get what I mean. So I don't want to tempt fate. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put them in like this, and then when I freeze this way, I either cook in the Instant Pot because it kind of is in that shape and it's easier to pour in, or you can still do slow cooker, still a good shape to throw in there, but you definitely want to defrost it so it comes out of the bag a little easier and fits in the whatever shape of cooking vessel you're using. Okay, now I'm going to get started on the apricot ginger chicken. This is the new to us recipe, and this is the one that I'm going to use the chicken thighs in. This one doesn't call for very many things to go down on the bottom like the other ones that kind of had whole cans of things go in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put the chicken in on the bottom for these so that the ingredients on top can marinate a little bit as it freezes. If you've never watched our videos before, it may look like a ton of garlic, but we like a lot of garlic, so it's actually okay for my family. Okay, yes, this is a different day. My camera died and I didn't notice in the middle of that freezer session. I was just moving along because I really wanted to get it done as quickly as possible. So as I'm editing, I noticed that there are 2 meals that didn't show up. I don't really have all the ingredients to remake both the meals. I do have the ingredients to remake one, so I will make one of those, and then the other one I will just show you what the ingredients I used, and be sure to link the recipe down below for you. The first one that got skipped over is Cafe Rio Chicken. A new to us meal. We've never made it before, and as of this moment, we haven't tasted it, but we've heard lots of great things about it. All I did to create that was I bought this giant bag of chicken from Costco, and I had it in my freezer, so I wanted to use this up for the meal. So I put about 2 pounds roughly of chicken in the freezer bags. I made 2 of them, so 2 pounds of chicken in each bag, and then the recipe calls for half a bottle of Italian dressing, so I just had 1 bottle. I had a couple bottles in the fridge and I just used that up. I put that in there. It also calls for a ranch seasoning packet, but we have ranch mix from Wellness Mama that I had made, so I used up the last of that, and I've left this out on my counter to kind of remind me to make some more. And then it also calls for garlic, chili powder, and cumin. I like to buy the already minced garlic from Costco. I use this because we use a lot of garlic when we cook. I didn't put the chili powder in because my kids, especially my younger ones, have a really sensitive palate to that, so they're not up for the spiciness yet, but I did go ahead and throw in the cumin. The other meal that got skipped over is honey soy chicken. That's not the correct title of it. I believe the name is like honey sesame or something like that. It's a recipe from 6 Sisters, and I'll be sure to link that down below. But I will make 1 more of those. I did end up making 2 the day that I made it, but I will make 1 more because it is family favorite, and I know we'll go through it, and I have the ingredients for it. For this recipe, I do like to mix it all in the bowl when I remember, just so it mixes well before I pour it in. So for this, you're going to need some garlic. I don't measure, we just go ahead and drop it. Ooh, we drop it in. It's going to be very garlicky, but we won't mind. It calls for onion. I have these diced onions that I put in the freezer. So I just diced them up when they were fresh before they were going to go bad, and then put them in the freezer like that, and I just cut them into chunks. Things like this really save me time and money because I'm saving the groceries before they go bad and getting it in the freezer, but then also time for when I'm like in a rush like the other day trying to make the freezer meals quickly. So this plop can actually just go in the bag, in the chicken bag. You're also gonna need some honey. And then that is it for this meal. Again, I did double this up, so I made just twice as much in the bowl of the mixture, and I spread it evenly between the two meals. All right, and now we were back on track to where we left off, and I'm just crossing off the meals that are made, and we're all caught up here. All right, let's get these Philly cheese done. This one is super, super simple. I did I believe I did the chicken fake Philly cheese the last time. But we're just gonna throw, if you watched our Costco and grocery haul, I will link that for you if I haven't already. But this is almost 3 pounds. So typically we use 2 pounds of protein per meal for my family of 5. We are a family of 5 hearty eaters. But it was pretty costly, so it was pretty pricey for us, $6.59 a pound. So I'm just going to put this in half and see if maybe it will stretch and be enough for my family. A tablespoon of Worcestershire, this stuff. And then we're taking a shortcut again. I bought the pepper and onion blend. Just gonna cut that, throw that in there, and this meal's done too. And then that is it for this. The day we serve it, I will put some sliced cheese on top of these hoagie rolls that we have and serve it up that way, or you could serve it over a bed of rice if you wanted to kind of not have bread for whatever reason. I don't know, bread is delicious. Okay, and we are done. It is, I don't know if you can see, 3:01. I did run back out to the garage to grab the ones that we had thrown in so you can get an overall view of it, but not bad. We did 2 of the honey soy chicken, 2 of these Cafe Rio chicken, 2 of the apricot ginger chicken, 2 sweet and sour pork chops, and then 2 of the sausage gumbo, and then 2 of the fake Philly cheese. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. That's everything I made. So we got about 12 meals, 12 meals done in under 2 hours. Thank you so much for joining me as I prepped my meals for this month. This is just a portion of what we're going to eat clearly for the month, but I do like to do a freezer prep as we do these monthly grocery hauls and try to prepare for our meals that way. I truly appreciate you watching. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It helps so much. And then if you want to see more from us, consider subscribing. Thanks again. And then I'm going to cut up this section and put it down below. It's a It is a Six Sisters recipe.